trying and buying somewhere else. Let's break into this little risky game of guitar shopping and talk about what I like to call etiquette. Or is it guitar etiquette? Or guitar something etiquette. Stay tuned. Talk to you in a minute. It's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
At Casino Guitars. We're talking about guitar etiquette.
Guitar etiquette.
Is that the word? What did I write here? Etiquette is the word I wrote. And it didn't autocorrect it because it didn't even know what to do when I was writing that down.
Yeah, there's no.
Well, it's the art of, we're trying to figure out the manners of how, like, we all, because we're still guitar buyers.
Yeah.
We're also guitar sellers, but how it works in the different worlds and groups we all live in within this etiquette world. I just want to say guitar etiquette now.
Guitar etiquette.
Because it sounds a little guitar. Like guitar etiquette is a fun word when it's a new thing. But anyway, so a lot of us have seen it and done it and been part of it or been frustrated by it. But like, you go on there and like you try stuff and then you buy it somewhere else. I don't really know why we do that. What?
I mean, I think it's almost always a financial factor, right? Like it's either you can finance it somewhere for 8 million months with no interest.
Maybe that's it because it's not cheaper.
It's not really cheaper anymore. I think in the early days of it, maybe it was cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Like the online, but now that there's math and stuff, I don't think it's ever cheaper.
Which I'm a fan of.
But sometimes I think people are ignorant to the fact that it's not cheaper. Or maybe when they call Sweetwater, the Sweetwater guy gives them 15% off, like right off the bat. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I think a lot of it is driven by being able to finance, 48 months no interest, 36 months no interest.
Well, yeah, and I understand that. That makes sense too, because I think we've all done that. Well, let's talk about Sweetwater for a minute.
Cool.
Well, because there's a whole group of people out there, the Sweetwater secret shoppers, that just I've seen it. I've met them. They've come in the shop and they're like, hey, I just bought 10 pedals of Sweetwater. I'm only planning on keeping one. I just want to try them all.
Yeah.
I just bought 4 guitars, like over the past 4 weeks. I knew I wasn't going to keep certain ones. I just want to see which one I liked. And so it's sort of a habitual, you're going to buy a lot knowing you're only going to keep one.
Yeah. And I think there's more people than you'd realize do that, where they
it's a
buy
strange
like
thing.
a constant stream of Sweetwater stuff. And I guess
constant returns.
But I kind of got the vibe that maybe Sweetwater is cracking down on that a little bit, like making it slightly less easy to return things. Maybe I'm wrong.
Where are you getting that vibe from?
Well, I bought a reverb pedal not long ago, and a direct box, my little Fishman direct box.
From where?
Gigs. From Sweetwater.
We buy from Sweetwater too. Weird.
And I was like, the little meme
too.
where it's like the dude and Natalie Portman from Star Wars, and he like says the thing, and then she's like, "But you're gonna blah blah blah, right?" And then he looks at her side. I feel like I had that moment with my Sweetwater rep because I was like, "Hey, if I don't like this, I can just return it and get the LR bags, right?" And it was like, he did not say yes. Right? He's like, well, you could do that, So
these are different.
It seemed like maybe, but I could just be wrong. Maybe he was.
Well, a
just
lot of folks don't
me.
know how it works there sometimes. So if you do that, like Sweetwater guys are paid on a commissions type of scale. So when they take returns, then they lose that commission,
For
obviously.
sure.
And so, and if it's something you did like a few weeks later, they're going to hit that out of their next paycheck.
Which is a bummer. They used to crush dudes at Guitar Center when I would be. It was like, I didn't have to worry about it because I was in the warehouse. But man. But so there's, it's just.
So that's one crew. There's another crew that's like, I won't buy at a guitar shop, period gang. Like there's the Guitar Center, Casino Guitars, Sweetwater. They just don't buy guitar shops because they don't think there's deals to be had there.
We're hitting on so many things because there's the guy who thinks, oh, it's been hanging on your wall, so it's not new anymore.
Which is crazy.
Which they think that magically they ordered from Sweetwater and no one's ever seen it before. The guy, even at the factory, packed it with gloves and a blindfold, and he's not even seen it since it's left. It
definitely has been seen a lot less at Sweetwater because it's inspected theoretically when it leaves the manufacturer. They inspect it at Sweetwater, then it goes on a shelf for up to quite a few months, and then it doesn't get inspected again, goes right to you, unless it's been there for a certain red flag trigger moment when it's been there like quite a few months.
But so like there's those guys. I think there's the opposite end of the spectrum. They look at it with us and they think, oh, I'm going to buy it from you guys. And they're like, oh, man, but I looked on Sweetwater and they had an open box or a demo for, I don't know, $100 less or whatever it is less. And they buy that. Those are always the guys that come back and say, oh, man, sorry, but I got it's a great deal.
Well, that's like a whole other ball game, too. It's there's this one class, and we're part of a class, too. We have an issue. There's one, not like a socioeconomic class, it's just a class of idiots that we all are that are into this guitar collecting, buying, trading game. But that they'll come and play stuff at any shop they're going to a lot, and then they know what they want to get, and then they go to another shop and they buy exactly what they weren't looking for. Yeah. Because it was on sale. And then it ends up being sold.
Have you ever seen that scenario where like 3 years later you talk to that guy and he's like, yeah, I'm still loving that guitar?
No.
It's always because it's always a compromise, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has happened, but I can't think of any time when
that leads into like the marketplace warriors too.
Right.
And which is fun too, because like a lot of people live in the marketplace. We do as well. We love the marketplace. But you gotta be wary of not just things working properly, but also them not being fake.
We've seen that in the shop lately from like
multiple times.
Fake guitar, got chips and then
was that the same guy got hit by like a faulty amp and a fake guitar?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome though. To just be like, I got double dinged in like the course of a month because I'm getting deals.
Well, and I almost hate to say this, but those people are the first people who come in and be like, man, can you guys help me? I'm having this emergency. Well, and it's weird, right? Because it's not like.
And we do.
Of course we do.
It's fun. We want to help you.
And we, people call all the time for stuff that
I know shops that don't do that though. Now I've talked to some shops like if they find out they bought it direct from the manufacturer, the shop will not service it. And I'm like, that's kind of. Oh, that's a little weak, but I get it.
I don't think you or I either one would say, "Hey, if you come play something with us, you're bound to buy it from it." Like we don't. I mean, you know what I mean.
We send people to other stores every day. Like we get thank you letters from other guitar shops, like, "Hey, thanks for sending it," and like just nice emails or calls, like,
"You guys are idiots. Thank you for being so stupid."
Why are you guys going out of business or something? Send. No, it's just it's the Miracle on 34th Street philosophy. I just love if we don't have it, somebody else does.
But it is a little weird when people come hang out, ask lots of questions, try lots of things, play guitars for hours, and then go buy the same guitar somewhere else.
That is definitely weird.
Especially if you didn't even necessarily ask for a deal. Because we can't always do like crazy deals. Margins aren't what you think on guitars probably. And definitely the big box stores can generally give you more off, right? Because they can afford to make less margin. But
that's the customer acquisition trick, is what they're trying to do. So sort of an older, the older model of strings can be cheaper at places like Sweetwater. They'll lose money on them just to try to acquire you as a customer, and then if they can just cover their costs and make $0, it makes sense for them to do that because then hey, we have a customer, we have your information, we can market you, and we can sell your information. We, fortunately, are not savvy or smart enough to know how to sell your information. So once it comes here, we lose it because we are a small independent guitar shop.
Sad but true.
So when you are like a marketplace warrior, like some of us are, like you do have to worry about like what happens when your guitar breaks, or because or your amp breaks.
No,
because the same sad person. The amp he got it good. He got Blues Junior. Blues Hot Rod Deluxe, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
It was no.
I think it was
Hot Rod DeVille. Hot Rod DeVille.
DeVille? Okay.
No, was Hot Rod Deluxe.
It's one of those. I'm not sure.
It's a Hot Rod Deluxe. Yeah, but he got it for a good price. I think he's paid $450.
Yeah,
great price.
Pretty good.
Doesn't work. So there's a few $100s in repairs right there. So I think like we might have had one used at $750.
Yeah,
and I think by the time all the repairs are done,
and we probably
it's gonna be a little less than that, but still, it's not
maybe.
The deal could have been sweetened a bit too.
The deal could have been made better, perhaps.
It's just funny that you just got to be careful of that. Just now, there's also the mom and father first-time shoppers
who just assume that Amazon
is the way to go, and we love helping them too because they come in with a guitar that usually isn't very functional. We try to make it as functional as possible for free.
The other version of that, right, is they assume, and I run into this all the time with people who are coming in, and I think they think that the salesman's trying to get you, because they're like, their kid wants to learn or whatever, and
where are you going? I don't know.
Well, they are just hell-bent dead set that used is better.
Yes.
Used is, and they get something that's used that, like, the strings, are this high, and it barely works, and it smells like it's been, smoked on for 97 years.
A little bit of cat pee-pee in there.
And it's like, this was actually $50 more than the Squire we were trying to get you just to
Man, we
buy.
had a guy come in the other day. I felt so bad for him. I didn't want to make him feel bad either because he was a really nice kid. He was a teenager. He bought an Epiphone Les Paul Jr. type thing. He just bought at the pawn shop for, I think it was like $250 or something. Maybe it was $150. I can't remember. It was beat to hell. It was chewed up. The bridge pickup didn't work. I was like, like, how much you pay for it? He's like, until he told me. I remember just checking it against the same guitar new at Sweetwater. It's the same price. It was because it was a clearance item and they were getting rid of them. But I was like, and I didn't tell him that.
And he had no way to know that.
I was just asking, is there any way you can take this back? I mean, if he says, no, I like it. I don't need the bridge pickup. I was like, okay. You sure? You don't. It's a great guitar. You got a good deal here too. I just want to feel good about things a little bit, and because you just want people to feel happy. And it was kind of. I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, we do genuinely want people to have be happy, and
it doesn't matter where you get the guitar from
and good deals.
It was just one of those moments. But there's an overall art, and there's an overall arching, like, the word is etiquette of, like, guitar shop. Like, if you are like utilizing Sweetwater as your primary source, like, give them the first option to sell you the next gear that you need to get. If you got a guy at Guitar Center, that's your guy or your gal. Like, give them the first chance. If you spend 6 hours at Guitar Center on Saturday and order it from Sweetwater, I feel like that's a little bit not super nice.
And that's even big box to big box. So whatever.
No, that's the
but
idea.
It's even maybe a little worse if you're doing it at independent shops. But also, I mean, kind of what you're saying there, that you didn't quite come out and say, is you might be screwing yourself by not just asking like us or whoever that local shop is.
And that's
just ask them.
And that's where I want to get into. There's a flip to side to this. There's guitar etiquette, whatever you want to call it, etiquette from the shop side too.
Yep.
You deserve to be treated respectfully.
Yes.
No matter if you're looking at a pack of strings or a $30,000 vintage piece. Right. And if you don't know anything about guitars, you don't deserve to feel stupid or dumb ever. I used to go secret shops, and I still do all the time. It's harder now because of the YouTube universe, but I just like to sort of act like I don't know a lot and sort of see how I'm treated. And some shops treat you fantastically and will walk you through it. I don't waste their time, and make them educate me, but they really sort of browbeat you and make you feel like a ding dong.
Sure.
It's kind of like that great show on Netflix called Tires with Shane Gillis. Of we want to make women feel comfortable is our whole thing. It's I want to make me feel comfortable at a guitar store. Everyone should feel comfortable. You shouldn't feel like you're getting taken advantage of ever. I think most shops don't do that anymore.
Most don't. Some do. I went one. I don't even think I told you about this. I went one not too long ago, where even I felt a little
felt a little sleazy.
Just I was like, I don't belong here.
What happened? Where was this?
It was just random.
Was that
it was a little
Tennessee?
Small town. No, it was a little small town. I was driving through, and I stopped, and I just thought, okay, well, this is just kind of strange. But
what was the vibe?
I did buy. It was just weird. They were jamming, and I'd asked for a certain thing, and it was actually way too much money. But I have a strange roundabout connection to them, so I did buy it. And I was just like, yeah, probably not gonna stop here again, but. No. It was just weird. I'll tell you the whole story.
We won't disparage other shops or
no.
And if you
if
you need to know what this is off channel, just give us a call. We'll probably tell you, but we won't go on the record here. No. We like to handle the negative things face to face, phone to phone when we're talking with the shops too. Hey, we've heard we've helped other shops with unhappy customers in other countries. That's how dumb we are at business. But that's part of the good etiquette. That should go as well. A customer's like, hey, we like you from YouTube, but I'm having an issue with this. I'm like, let me call the owner of that amazing guitar shop, because it was an amazing guitar shop and amazing customer service normally. There's a miscommunication. Because sometimes somebody might be speaking German, somebody's speaking the Queen's English, and then someone can speak a little bit of redneck every once in a while and kind of mix the two together.
That's a really good point about giving people the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like there's a few times where you've been able to do that and clear something up that the customer would have walked away feeling really shafted, and the shop probably didn't even realize it.
It happens at casino guitars, because sometimes the way let's say somebody answers the phone and they think somebody's upset on the phone. Right. One of our guys might be like, somebody's mad, they want you to talk to you, and I get on the phone.
Yeah.
There's no anger. It's just some people are just silly when they answer the phone and think that somebody's upset and they're not. It's because maybe they came from a different, we have guys that have come from different industries where you are always dealing with angry people. And so you're sort of prepared for that. Or if you're like a call salesperson, or if you worked in, dentistry, it's usually not a happy moment when you're going to the dentist.
My tooth's falling out. But,
how much is this going to cost? Oh, Jesus, Lord.
Guitars should be happier than all those things.
No, this should be fun. So I mean, that's it. So it goes both ways. So make sure you're being respected. Make sure you're respecting the shop, unless they don't deserve it. And then you know what you can do? Take your business elsewhere. You can immediately, from the big boxes to the little shops like us. If we don't treat you right, I hope we can make. I mean, I think we almost always do, but I hope there could have been a mistake. I hope we can make it up to you. And I think almost every place feels that way, except for the bad guys. And Jonathan has that list, and he's not going to share it on this line right now.
They're not bad guys. I just think.
I know.
You just don't know.
Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Have fun out there. Just enjoy your guitar journey, and be kind. Just as Dalton used to say in Roadhouse.
Every time you say that, I want to say, please rewind, but
just be kind.
Really be kind and
until
rewind.
It's time to not be kind, because Dalton's one of the greatest. Yeah, he is the cooler. That's one. If you haven't watched the Roadhouse,
everyone's watching.
The original and the remake is fun in its own way, because I love old Jake and
Connor.
I mean, Conor McGregor is the greatest thespian since Sir Laurence Olivier.
Well, yeah, his life is a stage.
It is a stage. It's hilarious. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna leave. We'll see you guys soon.
Goodbye.